Welcome back, everyone. Attorney Jay Davis is here from James W. Davis and Associates. Time for It's the Law. One incident that happened, if you will, it's been getting a lot of press, Jay, a shooting on the Georgia Tech campus earlier this week where a student died. Explain to folks what happened.
Well, what it seems like is the student made a phone call trying to do suicide by cop. A lot of people refer to it as. Made a phone call saying there's somebody with a knife and a gun on campus, making a report.
Even gave the description
theoretically of himself. So it seems like he was trying to draw that action to him. He got the police officers were there. Apparently he did have some sort of knife affiliate. Apparently it was sheathed in some sort of casing or something, but didn't have any kind of gun. There were several officers around. Apparently there was some discussion telling him to stop, telling him to put down whatever it was, the weapon or whatever they were referring to it as. It seems that he continued to walk towards the police officers, and some of them refrained from firing, and there was at least one that did fire.
Right, and it was a single gunshot wound that killed the student. There's a sort of a separate debate to be had about whether the cop was in the wrong or not. Let's get inside the courtroom, though, because now the parents of that student are going to file, at least it looks like they're going to file a wrongful death suit against the university. That's
true, and that is going to go back to whether or not the cop was in the wrong. I mean, that is going to be the crux of the case. If you're going to have a problem with a lawsuit when the victim of the lawsuit, which was the son, I mean, obviously the parents have a different claim based on that son's life, but if the son made the call that initiated this, there's going to be some questions as to how much culpability is there, and does that waive culpability of the police officer? I don't believe that it does, particularly here. There seems to be some clear evidence of some mental instability, and police officers have to be aware of mental instability. They have to protect for that. So just like if I'm defending somebody in a murder case or something like that, one of the things is did you use excessive force? Prosecutors all the time are saying whatever you used was beyond what was coming against you, and when it's a self-defense type thing. So if there was a sheathed weapon and no sight of a gun, even though there was a report of a gun, it's going to come to the question of what should have been, what type of force would have been appropriate for that police officer to have used.
Yeah, and real quick, in one of the things that people have brought up in the media recently is that this officer didn't have crisis intervention training. Do you think that's
I think there's a lot of problems in something like this with particularly campus law enforcement, which are not necessarily trained to the same extent as county sheriffs and that type of thing. What type of law enforcement do they have, training do they have? They're carrying guns, they're carrying lethal weapons with them. They need something beyond just the normal pale of what somebody is used to in a gun. And they need to consider whether or not a lesser force like tasers and stuff like that should have been issued to them rather than that. So there's going to be a lot of questions.
It is, and once it gets to court, we may even revisit this discussion once some things come out. Well, if there's a question that you want answered for Jay, just send us an email to itsthelaw@41nbc.com and we will discuss it. We've done it before and we'll continue to do it with Jay.